Okay, so I was going to try to do this decorating on camera, and it just didn't work out because I was so undecisive as to what I was going to do. So I'm going to show you what I did and how I made my templates. And that way you can just pause the video and go on as you wish. The front is the only thing I really embellished. The side and the back, I just put paper on. There's no real embellishing gone on there. The feet, I got these feet at, they're the spare parts ones from Hobby Lobby, and I painted them with some black paint to turn them black so it would match everything else you can see. So the only thing I really did, like I said, was the front. The top does come off. I'll put an album inside there. It goes back on nice and easy. I will tell you the records here. I made records. I used some of the same. This is just some shimmer paper that I had. And this is it's not really a glitter paper. It's a corrugated stuff that I just had in my stash. But you could use glitter paper, would look just as well. You can see the shimmery stuff in there. This is just some 1/8" ribbon that I had. And I took on the back of this, and I'll show you how I got this. On the back of this, I just put some score tape, and then I didn't measure or nothing. I just eyeballed them. And then I weaved them when I went the other direction. So again, no measurements on this. I just did it by eyeball. And then I put a piece of this on the very back attached to this as well. There's another piece of this on the back side of this. So let me show you how I did some of this. So for this up here, this is a piece of chipboard. And so I took one of these. I cut another one of these out. So I took this piece because it fits on there perfectly. So this is my piece that I had. Okay, so I came up 3/4 of an inch here. And then I just came in and I came in and I measured 1 inch. So you can see I have little tick marks. You probably can't see them. Probably can't see them on there either because it's white. Anyway, let me see if I can find the marker. I can mark them and you might be able to see them. So I took my ruler and my piece is folded like this. This is this part, and this part is this. There's my whole piece. So I took and folded it in half this way. And then I took my ruler and I went in 1 inch. And I took a pencil, that's why you can't see it. And I just took and I went in 1 inch, up 3/4 of an inch, drew a line this way. So that tells me where I start cutting my curve at there. And then I just came in here and I went 1 inch and I'd put a dot. And then I come up here and I'd put another dot. And in between, just so I had enough that I could connect the dots and make it work. And I just measured 1 inch. And I made this, again, it was a piece like this. I don't want to cut this one, but I can show you how I did it. So it's like this one. Again, I came over 3/4 of an inch and 1 inch. So this is my 3/4 of an inch, and this is the start of my inch. And then I just went around here and I put the inch on the edge here, and then I would make a dot this way, and 1 inch, and 1 inch, and 1 inch. And like I said, I did them close enough together that I could just connect the dots with it. And then I went up here, and there's 1 inch. So then I got to come down here, sorry. I need to come down here and mark 1 inch here. So then I just started cutting. You can cut either direction. I started at this end, and I just took and I cut, connecting the dots like this. Cut through both pieces. That way it gives you one when you get done. So when I got done, I ended up with this piece cut off, and then I open it up, and in turn, I have this piece right here. So then I traced it onto chipboard, and I cut the chipboard out. And then I took and I cut out a piece of cardstock that was 4 inches by 8 5/8. And I laid this over the piece of, I took a big piece of the score tape that Tamara sells in the store, and I laid this down on it, and then I kind of cut around it so that I would have something to work off of. So it would stick all the way down. You could use glue. You could put individual pieces of score tape. It just would take a lot to do that. I just used one of the bigger sheets. I cut this arch out, cut this out. Therefore, adhesive was all over it. So then I took my paper. It was a solid piece of paper. I laid it down. Then I used my X-Acto knife, and I cut the arches on it after I laid it down on the paper. So that's how I did that. These pieces here are 1 inch wide. And what is this, 8 inches tall? No, 8. Yes, 8 inches tall. So the two side pieces are 1 by 8. This piece is 3/4 by 6 5/8. This one here. This I actually cut out to fit inside there. It doesn't go underneath here. So this piece, whether you use glitter paper, corrugated, whatever, this piece here is 6 5/8 by what is it, by 7 1/4. That's right, because this is 3/4 of an inch. So I glued all of this down first, and then I put this piece inside there. Now, this piece right here, I kind of did the same thing. I took and I cut a square that was 4 1/2 by 5. And then I just took and where's my pen? I just put the lid on it before it dries out. Whoops, get on there. So I cut a piece 4 1/2 by 5. I folded it in half, and then I just free-handed round the corners off. So this was this piece here like this. And I just rounded whatever I liked. I just kind of rounded it free-handed. Then I took, and this is a 1/2 inch. So again, I did my ruler the same way I did with the other one. These go like this. So I drew a 1/2 inch across the bottom, this way first. Then I came up each side and I drew a 1/2 inch mark line and a 1/2 inch here. And then I did this the same way I did on the other one. I took my ruler and I just came in here and I did a 1/2 inch and I marked it, and a 1/2 inch and I marked it, and a 1/2 inch and I marked it. Then I just took and cut it out. I folded it in half, and then I just cut it out. I cut along the straight line here, and however you want to do it, I can't remember exactly. I did it this way. So I cut this straight here, and then I cut around here, and then I came down here. And then when you open it up, there's your piece. So this piece is this piece upside down, just like this. So you can do it in black chipboard and have it be just perfect. So that's what I did with that piece. Okay, so that's those. This is just 2 layers of the same paper here. It's supposed to be like a coin return slot on the jukebox. I put these are blingy flowers I had in my stash. My records, I punched with 1 3/8 inch punch on the big one. And then I went back with a 1/2 inch punch on the small one. I think that was 1/2 inch. Was that a 1/2 inch punch? Yeah. And then I punched the 1/2 inch ones, put them on there, and then I took my 1/8 inch crocodile side and poked holes through them all. These 4 here I glued down. This one here is popped up. You probably can't see it, but it is popped up. This was some of the Recollection bling that comes on a roll that I had in my stash. So I just put that there. to just to offset it a little bit. And really, that was pretty much it. That was all there was to do. Keep your template piece, because you're going to need this to cut this template on the back. I think this one went on mine. I put this side facing up on my paper, and then I cut it. And then I will, the one thing I hadn't done yet, that I will do, is I will line the inside here, and again, I will use this in here. I'll cut this template to fit. See, it's a little bit too long. Once it's put together, it's too long. So I will do some trimming on this template and make it fit in there just like I want it. And then I'll cut paper, and I'll paper the inside of this. Now, if you do this in black, you could get away without papering it, because it would just be black inside here. But since I didn't do it in black, although I don't know, I might get some black paint and paint it black inside. So anyway, that is and on the lid here, this piece right here is 11 1/4 inches long, and your paper is only 12 inches. So right here, you will have to inset pieces. You'll have to cut them. This section right here was 3/4 of an inch, so I did a 5/8 inch by 4 piece, put it there, and the same over here. I did the same thing here. So those were, other than that, the papering of it is just pretty standard. I cut my papers 1/8 of an inch smaller than what I need them. So if it's 4 by, say you're working 8 by 8.5, I would do it 7 7/8 by 8 3/8. Just 1/8 of an inch is what I do, because I try not to have much black showing. I try to have most of my black covered up, as you can tell by my corners right here. So sometimes you can't help it, but anyway, so that's what I did. And hopefully you won't have any issues. I hope I explained these template pieces well enough. I think you'll get the gist of it, though. If you have to rewind it and watch it a second time to see it, that works. See this one in here this way. And then this piece here was this one that came out of there that way. So those are the templates I had. And like I say, for this, it's just some thin, it moves around even. It's just some real thin 1/8 inch wide silver ribbon that I had. And again, I didn't measure it. I just lined the back of this with score tape, and I did one direction. Then I put another layer of score tape on it and went the other direction. And then I put score tape around it one more time and stuck the back on it so that everything was adhered really good. Plenty of score tape, and it shouldn't come off. Anyway, I hope you enjoy making it, and good luck.